Hello and welcome everyone to Aksumalian Media Network. I'm your host Ashinafi Tsubhatu, and today we have board members of the Tigray Youth Association located in Greater Philadelphia area, and we'll be touching base and discussing a little bit about the current situation in Tigray. Thank you for joining us. Could you guys give us a quick introduction of yourselves?
Sure. My name is Alula Gabrihuat. I am the chairman of our board members of the Tigray Youth in Philadelphia.
My name is Yonatan Gade. I'm the communication chairperson.
My name is Yared Hailu, and I'm the historian.
Okay, great. I just wanted to start off by discussing a little bit about Tigray. Could you guys let me know a little bit about what you know and what Tigray means to you? And we can start off with Alula.
Sure. There's so much to say, honestly. Tigray has a long history in terms of, you can go back to biblical times, or if you want to touch on the fact that, the Aksumite Empire, for example, has so many unique things that they were able to accomplish before a lot of parts of the world in terms of like even minting coins, also just the traditions and cultures of our people just are so ingrained in the fact that they were untouched by a lot of the world, where, you can still see a lot of the customs, especially religious, still done the same way that they were hundreds and even thousands of years ago. And, I think even, sadly, the conflict and, devastation as well is a part of our history too.
Next, Jonathan.
Yeah, Tigray is probably one of the most breathtaking landmarks in the world. Among, like Alula said, they already have a beautiful culture, and the hospitality is just unworldly. You go there and it's just multiple different kinds of cultures and people there. But the thing that most fascinated me the most was on my drive from Mekelle to Intijo. I was asleep for about like an hour of the 4-hour drive, and then I opened my eyes and I was just staring out the window, and it was just this vast, like, for thousands of miles, were these just large mountains, which Tigray is most known for. And what's interesting is that these mountains don't look like they belong on Earth, really. You just look out the window and you just think you're on Mars or something like that. And then, you read back to historical times, both, when King Johannes and stuff were fighting against the Italians and stuff like that. General Alula used those very mountains to his advantage. And I just think it's beautiful. And it's also, like, to us, Tigrayans, it's also personal to us.
Next, Yared.
Yeah, so growing up, I always hear stories from my parents regarding the history of Tigray, from the Battle of Adwa, and regards to what they had to go through to get to America. But even hearing those stories, I felt like some disconnect between me and Tigray, because I never went to Tigray, but that changed when I went in 2018. And I got to see see family members for the first time, grandmother for the first time, and being able to just interact with different folks and seeing the history, going to Yeha, going to Mekelle, Aksum, Adwa, and going to different landmarks and seeing the history and the beautiful history. That gave me a much more connection and deeper love for Tigray.
Yes, and I agree as well. I was also born here in America, and my first visit, I was about a teenager age, and we hear about it, from our parents growing up, what it's like out there. But once you go in person and see all these historical mountains and different landmarks, it's a different type of appreciation we have for our culture. Not only just the language that we know from here and like the traditions. It's different when you go out there and you actually see it with your own eyes. And Tigray is a very historical place. It has a lot of major landmarks, and we just want to touch base on that. And with the next question, I know you guys have started a Tigray Youth Association in the Philadelphia area. And I just want you guys to touch base and let us know a little bit more about that. What are your mission goals? What do you plan to accomplish with this organization? Alula, would you begin, please?
Sure. So we started about I think now we're about 2.5 months into it since initial creation of our group. So we're the Tigray Youth Association of Greater Philadelphia area, as you said. We have about 11 to 11 members currently, 5 that are on our board members, and then as well we have volunteers that help us in terms of accomplishing our mission and goals. So as of today, I can confidently say our mission is to create, an engaged community of young Tagaro here who participate in preserving and maintaining our culture and heritage in terms of educating and also striving to create a network of young professionals and community leaders through various civic and social initiatives. So, I mean, you could say, what does that mean exactly? And I would say, there's so many facets to it where we can help our people in a time like now, or we're able to help our members in their own respective lives, maybe not as in a community aspect, but we're able to help each other through our professional and in our personal lives. I would say that we can also help, our local community in terms of the diaspora that comes to here, in helping them integrate into society here and be able to be successful, because successful Tagaru as a whole is a major accomplishment and helps each and every one of us be successful in our own lives.
Yes, great. And then do you guys have, I know you said you're a fairly new organization. Have you guys connected with any other outside youth associations in other states?
So we actually use local, well, not local, but in the United States, there are various cities, big and large, large and small, that have already existing framework for us to kind of build off of, but we don't actually have, that's actually in our 2021 initiatives to accomplish in terms of working with other groups. But since we're in like our infant stage right now, I would say that we just use them as a kind of a building block in terms of seeing what they've done. And then, hopefully 2021, we'll be able to work with a lot of the groups that are doing amazing work all over the country right now, even the world.
Great, great. And then, there's a situation going on in Tigray. Would you all just please give us a little background information about what's going on this time? Could I start with Yonatan?
Yeah. Earlier this year, I'm pretty sure, just like any other country, Tigray and just like the whole, just everyone around the world was hit with the COVID pandemic. As you might have also known, is that earlier this year, Tigray specifically had a severe desert locust infestation. For whatever reason, government aid for that problem was withheld. So Tigray as a whole was also suffering from starvation because the farmers couldn't harvest their crop. Fast forward to November 4th, Election Day here in the United States, the Ethiopian government decided to launch a preemptive strike on Tigray with very little notice. It under the guise of a law enforcement operation, but air strikes were involved. Electricity, phone lines, water, humanitarian aid, all those things were blocked off from being accessed in Tigray. So, over 50,000 people were displaced to Sudan in the refugee camps, and over 100,000 people, 1.3 million children are displaced from home. It's about like 2 months now, and the airstrikes are continuing. The fighting is still continuing. But on top of that, people are starving. There's still not full access with communication to our families and in the Tigray region with one another. Only the phone lines in Mekelle have only been open, but even that's still a little bit more restricted than anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very tragic situation that we're going through right now, and this affects all Tagaros all over the world. Yared, could you please explain a little bit about how it affects you personally, or how do you feel about this? What's going on right now? I know we live outside in the diaspora, so we're not really physically affected by it as the other people are in Tigray, but there's many other ways. Could you just touch on like how that makes you feel living out here and knowing what's going on right now in your homeland?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, reading different articles and seeing videos and seeing in 2020 and 2021 people are starving to death. That should be infuriate me. That should infuriate anyone that read that, because it's 2021. That should never happen. And the Ethiopian government is weaponizing basic humanitarian essentials such as food, water, medicine against civilians, innocent civilians. They're being targeted and attacked. And the seeing that effect also, being in the diaspora, not having any contact with family members in Tigray, so not knowing the current status, not knowing if they're alive or not, just seeing that impact not only myself but also with my parents, that has a huge impact negatively. But also it has encouraged me to fight, encouraged me to be more of an advocate for my people in Tigray, because knowing that they don't have a voice for themselves right now because of the Communication Act. So calling my Congress people in the House of Foreign Affairs, PA reps, and just also with the fundraising that we're currently hosting with Araha, where we're helping the 50,000 Sudan refugees that fled to Sudan with basic food, water, and medicine, and sending them assistance. So that's what we're just trying, being more of a fighter and advocate for my people.
That's great. And then I know you mentioned Araha. It's an organization that's trying to help, the refugees. Lula, could you please give us a little bit more information about this organization?
Sure, I'd love to. So Araha is a organization. They started in Minnesota, in the United States. It's a group of community leaders and professionals who are of East African descent, whether it's Sudan, Tigray, Ethiopia, Kenya, that very general vicinity, where they wanted to make an impact on the region, because as many people know, there's been, I think already mentioned, the locust infestations. That's not something that started now. It's been going on for a long time. Every year it's either, worse or a little bit better, but it's still been around. And then on top of that, there's, lots of conflict in Africa in general, but especially in that region, as well as droughts and just massive humanitarian crises that have occurred, where there are refugees or people that just need humanitarian assistance. So this group, based out of Minnesota, like I said, strategizes how to affect the people on the ground immediately. And this specific group that we chose was because of the fact that they have shown us they're on the ground. They're helping Tagaro right now, helping them with essential needs. And I really, really want to emphasize that they've made a significant impact in that they're working with the United Nations High Commission. They're working with the IRC, NRC on the ground with these people day to day. Tagaro who just are devastated by this. I want to say humanitarian crisis, but it's essentially man-made in that Abiy Ahmed has done this with foreign powers and inflicted devastation on his own people.
Yeah, it's a real tragedy, and we can just only hope that it'll end soon. We're going past 60 days now of this conflict, and we don't see that much help from the outside international community. What ways can we bring this attention to the international community? Do you guys have any information about how we can spread the word and how we can bring, awareness to the situation that Tigray needs help. And I'm going to open the floor to anyone.
Sure. I think there are various ways we can do it. One, social media. There are various hashtag, not just single day events, but ongoing, where hashtag Tigray genocide, hashtag I stand with Tigray, hashtag. There's plenty for you to find. Anything that includes representing Tigray right now and what they're going through. I think that the main thing we can do is either use these hashtags to create an awareness throughout the world, or as we're doing as a group, which we're contacting people individually as well, to reach out to your congressmen and women in the United States to make an impact and get their attention, because they are concerned when their constituents bring up these concerns. So, hey, I am person X, I live in this area, and I vote for you every time it's time to go to the elections, and I feel as though my concerns, my people, are not being looked out for. So these people, especially like, for example, in PA, I think someone mentioned it already, where we have 4 people on the committee for foreign affairs. This can make a huge impact, because the United States essentially isn't doing anything right now. They've had a few meetings, they've deliberated, but they haven't made a statement that really has gone against I guess essentially not condoning what's going on in Ethiopia or Tigray right now.
Yeah, I want to double down on that. Basically, like, we can't. Our plight for help has fallen down the ears of the African Union. They've basically legitimized this genocide. So what we in the diaspora have to do is basically contact and make noise as much as we can to the people who can make action, and that's with contacting our Congress people. From what we saw in California, I think there was a live stream of the House of Foreign Affairs meeting. Basically, everyone in California had called their Congress people, and they listened, because they're just sitting around, waiting for people to call them about these things. And when you do, they actually take action. So if we all do our part and each take 5 minutes just to call them, and tell them, what's going on, then they actually have initiative to go and do something about it. And while right now they're probably not moving as fast as we can, like, there will be a new administration that will be coming in. And if we continue the momentum, I'm pretty sure we can make something happen.
I'd like to also add to share with your friends, share with your colleagues the situation that's currently happening in Tigray, because it's currently a communication blackout. No media can go in. So a lot of the non-Tigaru people don't really know what's going on. So, for example, I emailed my coworkers at work, and they had no idea what's going on. And the majority of them made calls to their Congress people and to the people I directed them to on the House of Foreign Affairs Committee. So definitely reach out to your non-Tigaru friends and coworkers and tell them what's going on in Tigray, and ask them to support you by either donating or making those calls.
Yes, great. So we just have to bring more awareness, as you said, calling our representatives, tweeting as much as we can throughout the day. I know yesterday we had a Twitter campaign, and we, made one hashtag trend, which was Tigray genocide. So just as much as you can tweet, call your congresswomen, congressmen, and just spread the word to your friends, coworkers, just anyone you come in contact with, so they're aware of this situation. There's no communication. We don't even know if our family is safe right now. We don't know the current situation. There's starvation going on. There's no access to humanitarian aid. This is a real tragedy in 2021 now. It prolonged into the new year. So we just have to help as much as we can. And, I just want to close with asking you all if you have any important messages that you would like to share with youth Tigarus. We can start with Alula this time.
Sure. Thank you. I would say a few things. I think we touched on some of this already, but learn your history. Think about it, just because of the fact that it's I believe in the quote that, like, if you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. So what does that mean? Basically, like, if I don't know who I am, if I don't have confidence in knowing where my people are from, who they are, what they believe in, how can I know and have confidence in who I am and what I'm doing going forward? I would say embrace the culture. Think about um, these people that have nothing to do with, some of these people are telling you this is a political thing, or it's this, it's that, but really this is a humanitarian thing where people are not getting to voice their concerns, the things that they're going through currently, which is just complete devastation. Think about it as if you were there and you would want somebody to speak for you. I would say that humanitarian aid is not optional. This is not something where we're talking about, just telecommunication. That's one out of tens of civil liberties that they're not getting currently. And I would say the last thing, just know that this is not something to take lightly. Starvation is on the doorstep for our people right now. They have nothing. They haven't had access to even their own money in their bank accounts. So they need us to keep pushing, keep pressing, and to all Tagaru in general, just we have to stay strong, stay positive, don't go down while people are coming at you telling you it's this is that, you are trying to do this. Really, we're trying to help our people who have nothing to do with any of this except for the fact that they are Tagaru caught up in the middle of crossfire.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I just wanted to like just double down on that. Tigrinya people, we only make up 6 to 12% of the population of Ethiopia. Um, we're pretty small in population, but on the outside, we're making a lot of noise, and I want to encourage people to speak up because everyone that's on the inside of Tigray right now can't speak for themselves. They got that stripped away from them, and sooner or later this is going to come home to a lot of people, unfortunately. Your parents, a lot of people's parents are not saying it right now, but every day they probably carry a heavy burden with them. And now more than ever, more so because of the COVID pandemic and just because of the distance between the United States and wherever else, UK, Europe, Australia, and from Tigray, it's just a larger distance. If our parents wanted to, they would probably fly over there and fight for them, but they can't. So they're going to rely on speaking up, something that they did during their time, but now it's more so digital. And the young people are the experts when it comes to speaking up digitally. We've done it here in the United States with like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And I think humanitarian aid isn't really a privilege, that the Tigaro people should need. It's just a right. It's a human right, and they're being deprived of that. And they need us more than now. They need us more than ever.
Yared?
Yeah, I'll say first off, just try to stay aware and learn what's going on with the current situation. It may be easy to not know what's going on because of the communication blackout, and Tigray seems so far away from you. So just first off, just try to read what's going on, watch some videos, and see the impact and the current crisis that's happening on your people. And second of all, just say that you're not too young to make a difference. You may seem like, oh, I'm just one little person that can't change what's going on, but you can add a voice. Any voice definitely will make a difference by making those calls or just sharing and spreading awareness of the current situation on Twitter, on any social media, or just sharing with your friends and yeah, just staying aware and just spreading awareness.
Thank you so much. And Another way is getting involved with your local communities. Like, you guys just started the Tigray Youth community, so that's great. At least you can spread the word that way. And yeah, and just donate as much as you can. I know we're youth, but we can save a couple bucks and donate as much as we can, because that is going to make a change in someone's life out there. We're lucky enough to have these essential needs, but people out there, they don't have anything but the clothes on their backs, traveling across to a refugee camp. So we have to help as well, and not just our, the adults and the older communities. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us on Oxymalian Media Network, and we hope to have you here again, and we wish you nothing but success in your new organization.
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you.